gorgeous. Great to see you out here in the chill, but oh my god, it's too beautiful not to show you. I've given myself the option to go inside if I get cold, so here we go. There is the sky. You can't see the sky and the garden at the same time, but I mean really, there's nothing else to say. It's a beautiful sky. And here is the garden coming out of the murk. Cameras aren't as smart as our eyes. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Andrea. Good morning, Jen. It's great to have you here. So here is the outdoor space. Sammy, it's great to see you. Hi, Heather. Good morning. Just enjoying the flowers. Because, I mean, really, this is a mad thing. It's taken a while to make it like this, of course. Here's the terrace garden. That's what I call it. Oh my god, you got thunderstorms in Connecticut. How exciting. So, but, you know, thunderstorms are amazing. As long as they're not actually hitting you, personally, with bolts of lightning. Here's paper white. And you can see we had a little bit of wind and rain and some of the flowers have fallen over, but there they are. Come on, camera, sort the focus out. It's trying. It just gets confused about what's back. There we go. About what's background and what's foreground. So there you go. And we have yellow daisies. Here we are. And we have the lavender bush that's going insane. It's a little teeny tiny lavender bush. And all of these bulbs, I mean, I can lift these off now. But when you have open soil, the cats dig. So you have to stick stuff in it or things get dug up. Here's the lavender. Yes, you saw lemons on the lemon tree, Andrea. Joey, good morning. They'll be months before they're ripe because they take a long time. Here's things I planted, and no cats have dug. I'm surprised, but you know, more columbine or aquilegia or granny's bonnet, depending on what you call it. Rehema, it's beautiful to see you. Good morning. Little bit of campanula up the back, and there's our native section. Hang on, I'll go walkies and show you the native section. I should actually show it off more often than I do. Rachel Rain, it's lovely to see you. So here we are. These are New Zealand natives. This is a dwarf, little short corphi. They normally are this big, well, after a while, but this one's been bred to be a dwarf. So it's very cool. And the nice thing about it is that it flowers in winter when nothing else does. So there are the flowers. And yes, it's a relative, it's a member of the pea family. So you can see the leaves look a little bit like pea leaves, and the flower has the kind of characteristic legume shape. And then we have New Zealand flax, which, you know, it's crazy growing there under a tree, but whatever, it looks wonderful. And that is pingao, which has a beautiful white flower in another season, summer, I think. And there's, oh, you can't really see, but there's all kinds of things that the universe has delivered to me, seeded into here. And it's very cool. Oh, that's what I'm missing. See in there, there's a sort of a brown thing behind the corphi. That's an amazing plant that grows on the coast. It's extremely tough and also rather beautiful. There's something else that just falls in there and grows. So, yeah, the native flora of New Zealand, you can see a tree fern back there. It's all really interesting, and of course the birds eat it and they bring the seeds, so once you have a few things growing, you tend to get more. Flower beds are now weed beds. Well, Sammy, it's not actually that complicated. If you've got soil, stuff is going to grow in it. You basically have to decide what you want to grow in it and pull out the stuff that you don't want to grow in it. And the other thing is to watch what actually does grow in it, because there are some things that grow well in this place and some things that don't. And that's not dissimilar to what we're talking about in today's post, really. I'm just going to show you these flowers. See, bulbs do well here. They handle the wind, they handle the sun, you know, they go down in summer when it's dry. They don't care. They tolerate most things. But anything that's really sensitive to the wind here is not going to do well, because the wind is violent, especially in spring, when things are soft and tender. So that magnolia there in the centre of the screen, I planted these trees to give it some shelter from the wind, because the leaves get ripped to pieces in spring. The flowers come earlier, they don't get ripped to pieces. See, there's a strategy to everything. Now, so, you know, enough of the gardening lesson. I've learned a bit. And, you know, we are, at the same time as we're growing or not growing our gardens and our flower pots, we are always shaping ourselves. And beautiful Shuffy asked me a fabulous question, and I have to chuckle because he says, I'm kind of new to this law of attraction stuff, and so I'm just going to ask you some basic questions. And they're incredible questions, and the reason I chuckled is because not only are they the basic questions, they're kind of the only questions. They're the questions that you spend your life answering. It's like the more simple and core and basic the question is, probably the more profound and more powerful the answer is going to be. So the core of the question, and there are a number, and we're probably going to be unpacking this for a few days, like we're on a new thread today, but it's very relevant to all of us, and it does totally latch on to this whole thing of, I experience a lot of fear or pain or anger or sorrow, whatever it is, and I want to be someone else, I want to feel differently, and so you've got to pull those weeds out of your mind and plant new things, right? Wind back to the rest of this week if you want to know what I'm talking about, if this is new to you. But, once I know what I desire in life, and I have this idea, and this was what started the question. I have this idea because I've read about it, and I'm gathering information, which is nothing. You've got to learn. You've got to get new ideas, new thoughts, see what works for you, let go of the rest that doesn't. But there's this idea of living from the end, is the words that he used when he wrote. And I would translate that to say what I wrote in the post is like living as who you are when your future is now. So it's like you step in a teleporter and a time machine. You say, okay, I'm going to be the person that's living my dreams. Oh shit. And then the problem is, okay, here I am. I've decided to be the person who's living my dreams. And oh look, my life is still shit. Now what do? Hi, Amy. Good morning, gorgeous. And it's that conflict. So really, that was the core of the question: is what do I do? I'm hearing that I'm supposed to be living like my dreams have come true, but my dreams have not come true. And there's all this chatter in my head about how my dreams have not come true and how much my dreams have not come true, and I'm not enjoying this. Hi, Adrian. So what do I do? How do I deal with this? How do I manage this? Yeah. So that's the question. And in short, which is also what I wrote. Oh, Sammy. Yeah, well, I hope this is good. And keep the comments coming, even if Facebook stops showing them to me. I'll get to you. This is so real. Oh, I've lost my thought. You see, you're a wonderful distraction. Think, feel, act is timely. It totally is. Maybe I was about to head off on a tangent. Didn't need to do. So, being the future self right in the middle of your life is the fundamental challenge that we all face. Because here I am, I live with habitual anxiety, or I am used to being depressed, or it's normal for me that I live my life in financial extremis and it's always a struggle. Inga, great to see you, darling. How in hell am I supposed to feel abundant when I can't pay the bills? How on earth am I supposed to feel healthy when I'm sick? How on earth am I supposed to feel like I'm living my dream life when I'm so not living my dream life? And what's that got to do with thinking and feeling and acting? And then all this shit comes up in my head when, that conflict. So that's the core question. And I've found it again. The short answer to this is that we live with 1 foot in each dimension. If you like, 3 dimensions is Newtonian laws. What goes up must come down. There is a before and after. There's yes and no. There's polarity. I'm here, not living my dreams, and I'm there, am living my dreams, and I'm one place or the other, right? So we all understand about this division. We even have 2 hemispheres in our brains. Everything is polarized on this planet. That's just what happens. That's the test, if you like. That's the polarity that we experience when we come and be human. So it's challenging. And so, that's 3 dimensions. the 5D, and I'm more comfortable with this. I used to think, this whole 5D, what the hell? Because, people talk about the 17th dimension and the 11th and the 233rd. It's like, oh, please. My bullshit-o-meter just goes up to 506. Like, oh, God. But now, and it's funny, it reminds me, I did calculus in my last year in what we call high school, not university, which is what some of you call college. The terms get mixed up. And I understood about dimensions because calculus, you actually see kind of in maths, that was like the concept. I understood what I was doing. And I'm not going to go down that thing, but anyway, maths, loved it. Not statistics, but calculus was cool. Does that show me to be a nerd? So dimensions, the first dimension is you have a line. You have 2 points, A to B, one dimension. It hasn't even got any width. It's just a line. When you add some width, if you take that line and you draw it sideways, you have a square or a rectangle or something that is a plane, right? It's gone from being a line to being a plane. And in fact, before the line, there's a point. That's the 0 point, right? There's a point, there's a line. When the point travels, goes from A to B, from before to after, it goes from being a singularity into something that's before and after. And then that line, if you take that line and you move it sideways, you get a square or a rectangle or a triangle, depending on how you do it. You get a plane. If you now take that plane and you move it in another direction, you're getting into 3 dimensions. That's 3D. That's what we live in. Newtonian laws. Before and after, you can predict when the plane takes off and where it's going to fly because you know the wind speed, you know the rotation of the Earth, you know how all that stuff works. It's predictable. The next dimension is time. That's the 4th dimension. And beyond time, there is the quantum. And that is the 5th dimension. And, there are limitless dimensions and they all meet in the 5th. So I simply don't care about any structure that says, the 7th is this and the 8th is like, bullshit meter is gone for me. If it works for you, don't let me knock it, okay? I'm just telling you about what's inside my head and what's inside my heart, what's real for me. So 5-dimensional reality is the realm of the quantum, and in the quantum, we can't predict anything. Everything is pure possibility. There is nothing material. There's no line. There's no plane. There's no anything that appears to be solid. Because remember, with all the things that are solid, they are 99.99999999999% space. So this is not really solid. It's just an illusion of solidity, and mostly it's the unified field, and so are you, right? But because this polarity and the appearance of solidity is so solid, we get confused and we forget all the potential that exists in the, everything that isn't that 0.00001% matter. There's so much space, and it's full of potential, it's full of possibilities, it's everything in that singular point, the 0 point. 5th dimension. So in that space, there is a possibility, and there's more than one, there are infinite possibilities of ways that my dreams can come true. And so that's why I say we have 1 foot in each world, 1 foot in each dimension, one in the 3 dimensions where we have to deal with the fact that I have bills that I can't pay. Oh shit, what do I do? And the other one which says my bills are paid and I feel fantastic. And so how do you navigate that conflict? Because it's a tension, and we are constantly doing this. If you have made the choice that you're not willing to just accept that my life is on this predictable path, and I can take last week and paste it into next week and pretty much nothing's going to change. Back to Tom! Good morning, gorgeous! If you don't accept that life just is how it is and it's happening to you and there's nothing you can do about it, but you can't see how you're going to get from here to there, then you can't do it through 3D. This was what I fell over for decades. I can't see how, I can't plot A to B to C. I can't say the aeroplane's going to take off here and, it's going to land there, and I know how it works, because I couldn't. And I had to, and it took me so long to understand this. Now it's a lot easier because the information, the how-to, the science of it is actually available, okay? This lit me up. It's like the only thing that makes sense to me is the science that dear Joe Dispenza has spent a life and a mission unpacking and making approachable and real so that I could go, oh my God, this is the thing I've been waiting to understand my entire life, which for me is what it's like. Not for everybody. It's just how it is for me. So when we can get past our circumstances, our bodies, our emotions, our thoughts, and all of that stuff, and become nobody, become no one, become no thing, become nowhere and in no time, and then if you've lost all your awareness of all of those aspects of what's considered normal reality, then you are in the 0 point field, then you are connected to the quantum. And in that space, and for me, in that space alone, I can't do it any other way. Can't just do it with imagination because there's too much chatter in my head that says, no, this isn't happening and you can't do it. In that space, I can truly become and feel who it is that I am in my future. And, you know, the crazy thing, I never understood this until it started to happen. And it's like, every time I go back now, it grows. It's like the things that I'm dreaming of now bear no resemblance to what I started dreaming of a year ago. And, you know, there's a neurological basis for that. If you have the seed for a dream, you've never thought about your dream life before. And I don't mean, you know, fancy cars and perfect hair. And I mean feeling so satisfied with yourself and your life, so whole, so complete, that you come back from it and you think, I don't need anything. I'm so whole in myself. I'm so full. I'm so complete. What do I need? And you can walk, and when you're in that state, you can walk through the same life that you were in 2 hours ago, however long it took you to get there, and look at it with absolute love and delight and joy, because you know that you're complete, and you also know that all of those unanswered questions that you don't have the answer for are taken care of, and it doesn't matter that you don't know how. So, you know, I'm not saying that's me all the time, but I'm saying that I've gotten really good at connecting with that space in myself. And the more I've gotten connected with that space in myself, the easier it is for me to remember who I am in that space when I open my eyes and I come back to 3D and I think, oh shit, I've still got all this stuff to deal with. My life is here. But hang on. If I remember what it is like to feel that whole and that complete and that sure that everything's taken care of, that I don't understand and can't control because it's on the other side of the planet and it's big, you know, drama and it's difficult and my brain wants to wander off and try to spend all my energy solving things, you know, and that's happening. But that's not who I am in that other place, and I know how it feels to be that person that doesn't do that crazy thing. Hi, Sona! So now I have a choice about whether I inhabit my old self that's constantly trying to fix things and make people feel better and solve all the problems and respond to everything immediately like it's, you know, the world will come to an end if I don't respond right now. You know, because I'm responsible for all of it, really. It's crazy. The stuff comes up for me. Fix it, Maddie. Now. No. You know, there's a little slice of my growth in this moment. If I remember what it's like to be in the space where I'm not like that, then I can make a choice about which space I'm going to inhabit in my real life now. And the important thing about that is that it's not enough to think the thoughts. And actually, it's not enough to think the thoughts and do the things. You got to think the thoughts and do the things, but you got to feel it. And if you can't think the thoughts and you can't do the things, but you can find the feeling, sometimes that's what works. For other people, they have to think the thoughts and get really into the visualization and the sense of where they want to be and how it feels. You know, everybody has a different way in. But you got to connect viscerally with how it feels in your future. And the reason I keep saying that is because when you feel fantastic and whole and well and wonderful, you're going to behave like a fantastic, whole, well and wonderful person. And you're also going to think like a wonderful, well, whole and fantastic person. Yeah. Well, in fact, you know, your experience is the only one you can fix, Linda. That's the lie. That we can fix anything for anybody. And I'm experiencing this enormous release in the last week or so of saying, actually, it's not my job to fix anyone, and I don't even need to make anybody feel better. Not my job. The greatest service I can give to anybody is to translate myself into that amazing, whole, empowered, incredible being and leave footprints that other people can follow. And be a source of useful information and a stronger energy than the disease or the craziness or the incoherence. An example that someone can follow. But to dive off my own space and into someone else's and try to pull them out of it, no, I will not do that. It's becoming a very powerful no inside me. So, sideline, but kind of important. And the last point I want to make about this is, we're all very familiar with our 3D selves. You have to make a practice of getting familiar with the 5D self, the self that has manifested amazingness out of nowhere. And some of you know what this is like because you've done it, and I've done it. And what the funny thing is that after you've done it, it's like, oh my God, I did that. But then the next time you need to manifest something else out of nowhere, it's still a challenge. It really is still a challenge. You don't suddenly become this person who immediately knows how to manifest everything. But you do remember that you've done it before, so you have more certainty or more sort of belief, I suppose, not necessarily certainty that you can do it again. So, it gets easier with practice. And, yeah, I know, Linda. It's like you have to have very strong boundaries and to say no. There's no answer for that except saying no. And they learn it eventually or they just disappear. It's a challenge. But yeah, I know you're all over it. So, the thing I want to say is that when you're embodying your future self and you don't feel good and it doesn't feel normal and it doesn't feel natural and your shit comes up and, and the people who persist in hanging around and being, like you're saying, Linda, and I just had this today. I thought, what is this showing me? How is it that I am still creating these now, help me now, fix me now, do this now, answer the phone now, fix this thing on a website now, do it now, because I realise I melt down. I really do. I melt down really quickly if more than one phone's ringing. And it's like my brain goes, I have to answer them both. No, I fucking don't. But some part of me believes I do. So, when the pain comes up, when the no-ness comes up, when the people keep being demanding, understand it is some part of you, it's some part of me that is still resonating at that frequency and therefore still somehow marrying up with that potential in the quantum field and landing it into 3 dimensions. That's how it works. And so I know that, and it'll probably be tomorrow morning, and I will literally pull this stuck energy out of my body and free myself from this program. Might take me more than one day, I don't know. That as soon as I stop having that knee-jerk, I must go, now, response, reaction, actually. It's not a response, it's a reaction. That whole situation is simply going to not happen in my life. Or if it does, I won't react. It'll be like, yeah, so? You want me to jump how high? No. It just won't be a thing. Because I found myself, I've been talking about recurring thoughts and things that come back and justifying your decisions to people. And I find myself going round and round and round saying, no, I'm not, rushing off in tight circles to do this thing. And I think, hang on, why am I putting so much energy into this? I'm fighting nothing that's out there. I'm fighting myself. And I thought, hang on a minute, what am I fighting? Oh, I feel like I have to run around in tight circles the moment anything's happening. Well, no. But you see, when stuff comes up, it's there so that you got to realise that stuff comes up because it's the very part of you that you got to overcome to become who you want to be in that 5th dimension. And oh my God, I've gone so far over time. So much for 22 minutes. Anyway, we try. So there's heaps in this, so I'm looking forward to responding to you tomorrow. But yeah, that's my rave. Choose yourself. Tomorrow is Saturday. It's not going to be tomorrow. It's going to be Sunday, Monday. Honestly, I've been in a time warp all week. I know I've said that. It's like, what day is it? I'm so present now that, Anyway, so much love, whatever you are facing. And I know you know this, it's there for you. So continue to overcome yourself. You can do it. Big love. I'll see you Sunday, Monday. Enjoy the resonant replays until then. Love.